discuss hospitality and tourism trends, we are reminded of the power of education and research to border and bring together different perspectives. This webinar is an opportunity for us to exchange ideas, share innovative solutions, and build networks that can drive progress in our respective fields. The theme of this webinar, Hospitality Horizons, Merging Business Excellence with Tourism Trends, is particularly relevant in today's world. As we navigate through complex global challenge, it is a good opportunity to invite expertise and insight to make a meaningful impact. The discussion and presentation we will witness today will not only broaden our understanding but also inspire new ideas in hospitality and tourism issues. I also want to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the organizing committee. To all participants, I encourage you to engage actively in the sessions, ask questions, and connect with your peers. This is unique opportunity to learn from each other and to contribute to the collective growth of our academic and professionals communities. Once again, welcome to the International webinar. I wish you all a productive and enriching experience. Thank you very much. Om Santi 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 Om.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Imade Sujano, for your insightful speech, and please keep staying on your place for the opening ceremony.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the coming next agenda is the souvenirs handover. Therefore, we would like to invite to our keynote speaker to come to the stage. And for Dr. Chu, the certificate will be sent on your email. Right. To our rector and keynote speaker, please keep staying on your place. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is photo session. We would like to invite to all the participants to come to the stage for the photo session. To our rector and keynote speaker and also all the participants, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda of this webinar is the opening dance. Please welcome Sekar Jagat Dance. Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the plenary session, which we are going to have three brilliant speakers. The first speaker is Dr. Chu Chi-Tring. The second speaker is Ms. Amber Joy. And the third speaker is Dr. Irma Rahyuda, Apar MM Empar Emrech. Ladies and gentlemen, this plenary session will be led by Ms. Desak Dewi as the moderator. Ms. Desak Dewi is the student of Master of Applied Tourism Planning and Development Study Program Batch 3. To Ms. Desak Dewi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Charisma. Check. Good morning, everyone. So welcome to today's international webinar. As a part of HOTSUT, Hospitality and Tourism for Talented Students, in harnessing outstanding trend, HOTSUT, with the topic of Hospitality Horizons, merging business excellence in tourism trends. I hope we will have a great discussion today ahead. Before the presentation begins, let me explain how this webinar will run. There are 3 sessions with 3 different speakers. The speakers will present the material for about 20 to 30 minutes, and following that, we'll have question and session answer. We encourage the participants to ask questions because there will be presents from us in the end of our event. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our first speaker to start the presentations, Dr. Chu Chi-Tring. Please give applause to Dr. Chu Chi-Tring. Dr. Chu is a principal researcher and the director of Center for Economic and Policy Studies at ICSR, Vietnam. Today, Dr. Chu will share about creative tourism entrepreneurs, opportunity and challenges at World Heritage Site. Dr. Chu, are you ready in Vietnam? Good morning, Dr. Chu.
Good morning. Good morning, Dansa.
Yes,
Can
how
you
are
hear
you
me?
doing?
I'm good, thank you.
That's great. How is the weather now at Vietnam?
It's a little hot, but it's okay.
All right. It's the same in Bali
Thank you.
also. It's hot. All right. So are you ready to present your material for today?
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much. So now the floor is yours. Please, the committee to start the share screen.
Yeah.
Okay, you can start now, Dr. Chu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dansa. Good morning, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Da Nang City. I'm from Da Nang City in the central region of Vietnam. And I wish you all the best today. And it's my pleasure to see you and also share my research and my passion about tourism and hospitality research in Vietnam and in the central regions of Vietnam. So now it's my pleasure to talk about creative tourism entrepreneurs, opportunities and challenges at World Heritage Site. My presentation today will cover three main perspectives. The first one, why understanding creative tourism and creative tourism entrepreneurs is very important. Second is creative tourism micro entrepreneurs at Hoi An, Asian Town. This is a World Heritage Site in the central regions of Vietnam. And we look at the challenges and opportunities for micro entrepreneurs. The last one is we have some questions and discussion and also some solution for the future in post-COVID period for creative tourism entrepreneurs at World Heritage Sites in the central region of Vietnam in general, and also for other cases around the world at the World Heritage Site. So now let's move on to a little some literatures and also the understanding why creative tourism and tourism entrepreneurs very important. What do you think about the disaster and crisis that hamper tourism entrepreneurship or as catalyst of business innovation and creativity? The demands and the rise of experience economies has led to transformations of many sectors, including hospitality and tourism. Even though it brings both positive and negative impact, with the changes in relationship between the local communities, visitors, tourists, natural environments, and cultures. Actually, the impact of COVID-19 has made on business innovation. The creativities of tourism entrepreneurs to recover in the industry and to create a competitive advantage and also the memorable experience to our tourists. And the tourism strength or productive activities is actually the creations of the touristic experience. The package of tourism is organizing a complete trip from the transportation, from the accommodation, from destination satisfaction, and giving greater safety, especially the connotation of pleasure to our tourists. So, creative entrepreneurs can attract some segments of tourists and give another perspective to the destination. Next, okay. And actually, the development of creative tourism also attracts the stakeholders from private sectors and entrepreneurship with creative tourism programs also. And it's inspired the public sector to become more actively supported by the public sector to attract the local and encourage the entrepreneurship. The creative tourism products have become a prominent framework for entrepreneurs to tap into creative business models, actively understanding consumer behaviors and preferences. And creative tourism in novel integration at contain four dimensions: active participant, and the active participant is from the tourists and also the local community and stakeholders. Creative self-expression, learning and connection to local communities and focusing on the core preserving local tradition while developing creative skill of the entrepreneurs and also creative skill of the customer with the local community at holiday destination. So actually creating tourism is a peer-to-peer tourism experience in the core values co-creation by virtual communities or the actors with creative mobile manifestations or even online digital capital developments in this form of production. So actually great tourism is like focused on not only the observation, but also something the customer can hear, can listen, they can attach, then enjoy as the destination too. So some people say, I hear and sometimes I forget. I see and I remember that when I actively do and participate, I can understand. So creative tourism focus on the peer experience from the model, from the tourists and also local environment too. So So actually, the culture and the heritage has emerged as the force for the urban and rural renewals and preservation, and it becomes a global industry in its own right. More recently, the growth of creative economy has been marked by the increases and tangible aspects of culture and heritage, and they become vital markers of symbolic value. For example, if you look at the creative tourism model, we can see there's the benefits. Some benefits can be clearly identified. In this context, the striking to see the benefits of creative tourism is the close relationship with entrepreneurship. The creative tourism developments have occurred in three basic forms. The first one is private sector, the local business and the public sector. Especially, there is the partnership between the public and private sector to make the creative tourism effectively. The emergence of creative tourism reflects the growing integration between tourism and the different strategies for creating places, including the promotion and development of entrepreneurship in creative industry, the creative cities, and the creative classes that attract the activities of entrepreneurship. It is important to value the identities of places and cultural distinctions context. Creative tourism, together with creative entrepreneurs, has the potential to preserve the historical identities and the heritage. Thus, it can bring a more sustainable tourism and the continuous growth. Look at further for this context, we looking at the understandings about the term of entrepreneur. That in my presentation, I will look at further about the creative tourism entrepreneurs that we focus on how to attract a new groups of entrepreneurs that can be defined as an individual who assume a certain business risk and directly the energy to future profits and gains. And we can have the visionary attitude. So my next talking is about the entrepreneur in the nationalized. Yeah.
Next slide.
So
please.
next slide, yes. What do you think about the entrepreneur, but in the context of creative tourism? And creative tourism entrepreneurs commonly understood that the person that focus on not looking at the certain business risk, but also happy to direct the energy to future profits and gains, and mostly operated by creative people, artists, and lifestyle entrepreneurs. Creative are not only connected to creative job, their motivation for engaging in such experience sees at the economic supplement and the strain of learning and personal skill are present in such experience. The lifestyle entrepreneurs has been used to describe the small business owners who construct a business around a habit that enable them to earn an income while they still can keep their passion, their interest, and motivated by the need to succeed at living a certain quality of life by maintaining an income which allow them to survive. And lifestyle entrepreneurs are those who create business following their personal values and interests and do not see profit making as the main objective of their business activity, rather than lifestyle entrepreneurs wish to find a work-life balance that enables them to maintain their hobbies and also their business together while they still have the balance with their work, the balance with their lives and free time activities. With the rise of peer-to-peer tourism network and experience, many research still questions and many research still not fully explore about creative tourism supply and creative tourists. They also question about who are these persons, who these people, what motivates both supply and demand to participate in creative tourism experience, and what creative producer learn from core value, core creation process present in the experiences they offer in the creative network, workshops or events or the creative use of spaces. So understanding creative tourism theories is important on entrepreneurship. So from the marketing perspective, the next slide, thank you. And from the marketing perspective, every seller, every new generation of creative tourists wants to know why people buy their tourism products or service. And the new generation of creative tourists has increasingly traveled worldwide to have a life enriched experience of the culture, the outdoor, and also learning. So creative tourism is significant to attract a new group of entrepreneurs. The question of how creative tourism entrepreneurs force the relationship between place, communities, and resources, and creator become the important business approach. In particular, the creative tourists actively co-create their own experience, and the creative consumption of tourism has directed tourism agents toward the cultural products, services, and experience contribute to the lifestyle and identity expressions of both consumer and producer as the co-creators. So both tourists and the local makers can create the values for the tourists. So we have the numbers of creating tourism business models, and today I also introduce a model we can call canvas model, creating tourism entrepreneurs can take. Then academic then like to delve further into the data, identifying indicators that thought to be very important and the causal relationship between those indicators in the business model. And next slide, thank you. And so very different of business model, and canvas model is one example for creating tourism business model. And we can see that creative tourism has grown and diversified in recent years, but little attention has been paid to changing business model. Actually, the business model canvas consists of 9 essential parts, from customer segment, value proposition, revenue stream, channels, customer relationship, key activities, and key resources, key partner, and cost structure. And in this context, we look at the creating tourism, so the use of business model canvas to compare the creating tourism business model that linked to the evolutions of creating tourism from basic arts and crafts. So that is the very striking point for creating tourism, and the tourism and products looking at more with the art, the heritage, and the cultural and the local values like the music, the culinary art, or the crafts. So they are like the evolutions of creating tourism. And this is also the learning experience to the incorporations of creative experience in the global platform, such as Chief Advisor. So the business canvas model for creative tourism is quite very relevant for to connect and to collaborate with the different stakeholders. We identify a shift of focus from individual learning to destination platform, not only for individual learning, but there is the integrations of all creative economy together and tourism and to different models based on place making. And the term place making is very important in this model if you look at this. This development also imply the integrations of growing range of stakeholders into the creating tourism ecosystem, and we for more focus on the collective, we more focused on the place-based creativity rather than individual creative skill development. So this business model is also linked to the different type of value creation with the intrinsic beings values enjoyed by different stakeholder and integrating value co-creation processes. So this model enables a wider range of stakeholders to become engaged, to become involved in creating tourism, and that is opening up the ecosystem to attract and more entrepreneurs and to attract more actors outside the tourism or creative sector associated with these activities, and they propose the addition of stakeholder interest in their understandings of creating tourism. And among these stakeholders are tourists, among these stakeholders are residents, or entrepreneurs, or the governments also. So the creative tourism business are operated by creative people, not only for businessmen, but also attract artists, actors, the musicians. So the creating tourism and creating industry can work together, and each time the lifestyle entrepreneur and culture creation also happen. So my next slide is that is some I give you the some in the understanding about entrepreneurs and creating tourism. So you see now my research, I look at the World Heritage Site that's in my hometown in the central region, Hoi An World Heritage Site. Next module, please. Next slide.
Next slide, please.
So Vietnam is the home to 3 creative cities, and Vietnam also has some famous World Heritage Site. And in my research, Hoi An is a place that been the UNESCO recognition. They also attract a lot of tourists every year. So I look at the opportunities and challenges for entrepreneurs as a World Heritage Site, case study in Hoi An World Heritage Site. And I look at the terminology micro entrepreneurs. And why I look at the micro entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. Yeah. Currently, so there are three cities in Vietnam. They already the UNESCO Creative City Network. And Creative City Network covers creative fields like craft and folk art, media arts, film, design, gastronomy, literature, and music. And Vietnam, with the three cities, has been the UNESCO Creative City in network. The first one is the capital of Vietnam, is Hanoi City. And then in last year, Hoi An World Heritage Site also the UNESCO Creative City, and Đà Lạt City and London in Central Highlands. So there are three cities in Vietnam. So I look at further Hoi An's research, where is my hometown. I look at the opportunity and challenges for micro entrepreneurs in creative tourism. So next slide, please. At the moment, Hoi An is always on the list top related tourism destination in Vietnam. I hope that the participants today, our guests and our colleagues can pay a visit to my hometown, and I warmly welcome your visit. And Hoi An is actually in the place that have more than 15 traditional occupation. And they have one craft street and 4 traditional craft villages, in which 3 villages already recognized by National Intangible Heritage. And this is the old city, old ancient town, still preserved with the small retail outlets, which is the traditional Asian manner. And there are more than nearly 2,000 household business engaged in crafts and folk art. Okay, next slide, please. Increasingly in countries such as Vietnam and Hoi An, the domestic tourists are new entrant to the middle class, and the many visitors from international also coming to visit these sites, and they experience in travel and demands after perceived authenticities, and also in the information too. Actually, Hoi An Onway actually offer tourists and special events such as the craft village, like pottery village, carpentry, vegetable, souvenir workshop, farming festival, tourism events organized by the city government, by the private sector, and there is annually cultural exchange events, and the accommodation, we look at the homestay with traditional local games, and recently more entrepreneurs looking at some cooking art classes, and they training, they offer the culinary art, and they involve in different training, and also the workshop for culinary arts, gastronomy, and the accommodation is looking at the green accommodation too. To look at the green tourism, they create many tourism activities and events that give the sense of the heritage sites, and they also respect for the values and preservation as the World Heritage Site. In Hoi An, so more and the entrepreneurs, like focus on lodging facilities, gastronomy providers, commercial shop, and also there is the innovation created, like they look at the doing things differently compared to their competitors, and the focus on the small scales and the small scale of different and with informant. They don't look at the idea of the lot too much, and they look at the indicator of innovation, and the small transients were seized as the means of enhancing profitability and gaining new customer, while the larger transit that's consider that maybe take up risk, and maybe they look at the sustainable practice in the small scale business rather than a large companies. Next slide, please. So the opportunities is also the social networks as well have its size with different stakeholders. The social network here is the personal, the relationship and also interaction. Often they have the stakeholder and they look for the joys, opportunities, and the network from where has this side to resolve the problem both individually and collaboratively in which they are engaged in the network. And the network here are the key instrument for building collaborations internationally, nationally, and locally, and to shape the tourist destination, to attract new markets, and to retain the customer. So they offer the diverse the activities and choose diverse stakeholder in the industry. So the social interaction here produce and brings all the components of neighborhood together, and they can bring the visibilities of micro destination plans for Hoi An and make the Asian town more attractive for the urban, the locals, and also international tourists. So actually the network at the World Heritage Site are very large. And this is also enables communications, information sharings, and quick transit, quick adaptability to provide high quality services and adapt to the shifting needs of tourists. Therefore, we find an inclusive informal network and formal network collaboration among entrepreneurs, cultural institutions, and also different businesses as the World Heritage Site. That is a great opportunity that can happen to adapt actively and adapt effectively. There is some experience sharing. Next slide, please. Some sharings from the entrepreneur that when they do some creative tourism, they think that they value the core values of local culture and our social capital. The social capital in here is also key important for creating tourism. They cannot do individually, but they need the collaboration from the local, from the neighbor, and the social capital, very important for entrepreneurship in World Heritage Site here. Especially they focus on the educational delegates of schools locally. It means that they develop the training, they develop the educational workshop that they can develop the passion for entrepreneurship. They not only look at the business purely, but they collaborate with some different kind of school from culinary arts, from hospitality school, from tourism, and also engineers and architects. Different schools, they come into the making space together, and they make the innovation in the atmospheres of recognized World Heritage Sites. Then that is a very good opportunity for all stakeholders. They're not really businessmen, but they can become more involved and they can have some contribution to the destination. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So that is some sharings from entrepreneurs, and they make the heritage become alive, and they can make the visitor also become creative person. They actively come into the destination, and they also create their own experience with different people. They can have experience at the village too, and also has to do some activity with the locals crafts, and they do some minor things and do some the big things for themselves, and then they have the direction for their lives, and they have the work and life balance. So that is the sharing from entrepreneurs that they can find the happiness that not only for business, but they can share their values, daily life, and they feel happy with that. And that is the key value for opportunity to be entrepreneurs in creating tourism. Next slide, please. Thank you. So Tom, I have to ask Tom. And some people look at the challenges that can affect their entrepreneurs. And many research look at different perspectives, but from my own research, and I look at the entrepreneurs for 5 years recently as Hội An Racing Town, and I look at the different challenges so that we have some solution for entrepreneurship. Actually, the people, the local in Hoi An, they travel around and now they look back and want to return the town to do business. They want to do contribution for the local tourism. So two challenges that I look at here is the mainly by the personal attributes of the entrepreneur and also the environment. Why I focus on the personal attributes of the entrepreneurs, because actually the success of the business is based on the founders a lot. I mean that the founders, the entrepreneurs, they have some important personality traits that affect the entrepreneur's intention. For example, the self-confidence, the take risk. They are willing to do business, but they can't. They also aware of the risk too, and they have the risk taking ability, and they need to have a passion for achievements and the locus of control too. So not only the personalities of the owners, the entrepreneurs, but also another factor that we have a challenge now is the environment. The environment is actually the entrepreneur culture, the access to the market, like tourist visitor, especially is creating atmosphere, the quality of life, and the level of cooperation. So actually, the policy of the government encourage people a lot to do this, but the environment here I look at is creating atmosphere, the place making together that can give them more passion and to develop their passion for entrepreneurs. Yeah. So the last but the important is the attitude change a lot or no when the COVID-19 impact them for a long time. So how can they keep the passion for their business? So the impact of COVID-19 in changing the attitude toward entrepreneurship, the work-life balance. People have discovered that they can work at home, but also they discover that the work play an important role in social interaction. They work at home is okay, but they also have to recognize that social interaction is very important, and they can form the self-identity too. So the lifestyle entrepreneur wish to find the work balance that enable them to maintain a habit, the passion, and they run the business together. But it seems that the work balance very poor attracted at the moment too. So how they keep that way, and furthermore, the roles of organization, environmental degradation, and social responsibilities, the future impacts of IT, the AIs and MLs, all the needs for knowledge, and to ask about how can they keep updated the data bank, the data about 1 year already behind, so they keep updated. That is the challenges for creating tourism entrepreneurs. So in conclusion, in my presentations, I give you some ideas, some insights about entrepreneurs, especially lifestyle entrepreneurs and micro entrepreneurs in creating tourism as the subject. And this subject is still complex and dynamic and multidisciplinary, but that is what makes it so fascinating. So creating tourism, micro entrepreneurs are inspired, actively engaged, and influence the place in which they live and operate their business. Why we are searching for creative space with entrepreneurial culture, innovative context, stimulation atmosphere, and that allow the micro entrepreneur more patience, and the lifestyle entrepreneurs network social capital in the hosting of resident and resourcing workshop for making a living from their skill. Last is the geographical location is significant for tourism of micro entrepreneur. For example, when we live in rural areas, so there is a relationship with the community, very important. Or we live in the World Heritage Sites, we also have a custom and tradition that we match with the heritage cultural destination. So business innovation and micro entrepreneurship creating tourism activity can act as the seed to inspire future action and sustainable development. So I hope that my talk helpful and at some extent and motivate you all further research in depth and also become creative entrepreneurs or creative business in tourism and hospitality industry. And this will also give you a sense of balance between work and life together. Again, thank you for your patient listening, and I'm more happy and willing to welcome you and your sharings and discussion. And also, I take this opportunity to say thank you and also hope you visit my hometown in Hội An and Da Nang City.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chu. Thank you for the great presentations. It was like really insightful presentation that broadened our horizon about the micro entrepreneur, and also we learned about Hoi An as a heritage site in Vietnam, which is very wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Chu. And now we're gonna move to question and answer sessions. There will be 2 questions, one from our offline participants. Please, the committee to be ready. Yeah. Are you ready, Dr. Chu, for the questions?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, please. One of the students in here. Can you please raise hand if you have any questions?
Tiếp ơi, hết pin rồi.
The committee. I believe they are shy, Dr. Chu, to see you, to talk with
It's
you.
fine.
Yes, our inspiring speaker for today.
Maybe we also have an email. Maybe we can, look at further discussion too and research collaboration if they interested in heritage tourism and also at World Heritage Site. I'm really more happy to collaborate too.
Sure.
And answer all.
We also
Yes.
have open the question in the Zooms, and one from Siman, I think. Siman?
Yeah.
I think there is one question from Siman. Can you please ask the question, Siman? Committee? Okay, just wait a minute. We're still checking about the online participants, Dr. Chu. Sorry for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. There is one here who want to ask questions. Yes, please. Please state your name and your program study. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me, Mrs. Tu?
Dr. Chu, can you hear this?
Yeah, I'm not. I still cannot hear the question. Can you help me to say the question again?
Yeah. Not yet.
I cannot hear the question.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I can hear now.
Okay.
May I ask you a question, please?
Yes, my pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Su. My question is, in what ways can entrepreneurship education and networking enhance the success of creative tourism micro entrepreneur operating in destination like Hoi Ans? Thank you.
Dr.
Yeah,
Chu?
thank you for your question.
Okay.
Can I raise some question or just answer directly now or just wait more?
Yeah, yes, please. You can answer it now.
Okay, thank you for your question. It is right that you want me to share further how can we collaborate education sector into tourism, is that right? Is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Actually, in Hội An World Heritage Site, as I discussed, I shared before that that is the good opportunity when we live in World Heritage Sites, when we have different stakeholders involved in. And the primary objective is to preserve the heritage and culture. And we have a different research institute and educational sector coming to heritage site to do something for preservation. So through the preservation activities, we connect with other school, university, and we promote the programs of preservation. And we promote by looking at further activity to attract students, attract different students from different levels. For example, we look at the children first, maybe, and the primary or secondaries, we look at some programs to attract them to look at some craft village to help them how to make the lantern, how to make the simple things for their levels of the age. So different levels of age, we create and develop different programs. And for high school students, we look at other activities and we promote different events and competition to help them to develop their creativity. So actually, we actively connect with the educational system with the support from the government. And we have the clear mission that what is the purpose, what we are going to do at the World Heritage Site. So we connect from different programs for different levels of students from high school, also university. And as my institute is the local institute, but also we also the government's policies consultant. So we do other policy to support the World Heritage Sites in Hoi An more what should we say, preserve, but also develop business sustainably.
Okay,
Yeah.
very great answer. How is
Is
it,
it okay?
Siman?
Clear enough for you?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much, Dr.
Yeah.
Su.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We move to next questions from our offline participants. Yes, please. Please state your name and your program study.
Good morning, Prof. Su. I'm Jessie from IPB International, and my question is, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my question
Yes.
is, how have creative tourism entrepreneurs adapt to the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in sustaining the core value of local culture and social capital within village-based communities?
Thank you. It's me you mentioned about how to adapt, is that right, from COVID-19
Yeah, correct.
impact. Yes.
Yeah, basically,
Actually the COVID-19 has impact a lot to our tourism industry, and we usually think about how we keep the momentum and business well. And we have different association like tourism association, hospitality tourism association in Hoi An and also in province. we coming together and we discuss the solution how we keep the trending that can target the market. For example, after impact the COVID-19, the numbers of international tourists decreased because they cannot travel to our destination. So we look at different strategies to attract the local tourists. And what kind of product here is that we promote the local tourism very well. I mean, we encourage people to the local in tourism, but we also have some other policies to support the entrepreneurs. Like we encourage them to develop the green model. The green model, responsible model, it means that we look at the eco-friendly business model, and that is a way to attract the new customer. When the new customer look at the eco-friendly model of business, and they adapt slowly but sustainably with the support from different stakeholders of the government, and also give some incentives if they can adapt some eco-friendly business model and creating models so that their revenues can be sustainable. So briefly, what I can share here is the collaboration for different stakeholders to have the entrepreneurs realize that collaborations and also new model of eco-friendly or green tourism or creating